Hello and welcome to Nathan and Tiffany. As you can see, today is just a Tiffany video. For those of you who know us well, know that my husband, who is adorable and intelligent and kind, is a little more shy. You'll notice that I tend to be in front of the video camera more than he does, but know that everything that we discuss here, that he and I have had a conversation and we feel like this is information that is either important to share or we feel like people would find value in it, or it's important for us to document for our lives. Today, what I wanted to start talking about is the decision and how we came to the decision to take what we're calling like an adult gap year, a sabbatical year, a mini retirement, whatever you want to call it. We'd name it all sorts of different things. But the gist of it is both our patients, our family, our friends, and probably many of you are wondering, how did you come to this decision, especially when you have a thriving, successful practice where you feel a lot of fulfillment in helping people. So the first thing that I want to say, I want to express tremendous gratitude for multiple things. One, the process that Nathan and I have gone to in our professional lives to get to a place where we own our own practice, we have the autonomy to make the decisions that we want to make, and we get to decide how we practice and how we help people, is a tremendous, tremendous gift, and we're exceedingly grateful for that. And this decision is in no way a reflection of us not wanting to help our patients or help people. We love all of them, and actually that's probably the hardest part of the leaving, is knowing that there are going to be people that are really disappointed or feel like, some of them have expressed in no uncertain terms, we feel like we're abandoning them. And as you can tell, this video is being made a full year in advance of this sabbatical. So right about now, 12 months from now is when we plan on leaving on our trip. So to give you just a little backstory in case this is the first time that you're joining us, my husband and I own a wellness practice in Georgia where we do physical therapy, personal training, nutrition, counseling, mental health services. And at some point we actually did a lot more than that. And that is an upcoming video as well. Right now, that's the services that we provide for our patients. And we have decided approximately a year ago, we made the decision that we were going to take a break. And so today's video is to kind of give a little background about how we came to that decision. And then if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, because there are a lot of videos and information coming about how we made that possible, and so much more. Because although for those of you that don't know what we do, I'm a physical therapist. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have the income potential of a physician. And so we do fine. My husband's a personal trainer and also has a part-time business as a graphic designer, but we would be considered like very middle class. And so at the age, I'm going to be 47 in a few days. My husband just turned 47. So at this age, people would consider this either foolish to walk away from what we have built and take a whole year off, or they would be very curious, like, how did you even make that possible? And we really want to be transparent and share that process with people so that maybe it can help them if this is something that they desire to take an adventure on as well. But for today's purposes, I want to give you a little background about how we came to the decision. So first of all, my husband and I have been together since we were 19 years old. We met when I was a freshman, he was a sophomore in college. And we dated for 6.5 years. I went on to do all 5 of my degrees. He went on to finish his degree, spent a year and a half. He spent a year and a half working in Georgia while I finished my programming. And then I moved to Georgia and joined him. And I have been practicing in Georgia ever since, and so has he. At the time, he worked for an event marketing firm and did design for them. And I, shortly after we got married, got pregnant with our only biological son. And I actually had opened up a small practice even before my son was born, where I went to people's homes and did private personal training and so on and so forth. After Zane was born, Nathan's company that he worked for went under. He became a stay-at-home dad. I went back to work full-time and supported the family financially, and he slowly started to do some independent design work where he developed his own business through that process. I have practiced as a physical therapist, a nutritionist, and a personal trainer throughout all of these years, primarily as a physical therapist. And I worked for other employers for a number of years, many years, that at this point I'm in year, it's going to be 23. Yeah, this is year 23 of practicing. And that doesn't include all the years I worked before that. That's just since I graduated with finalized all my degrees for 23 years. And then around 12 years ago, I think it was, with the help of my very progressive and wonderful financial advisor, I opened my own practice. And at the time, it was this teeny tiny little practice where I felt like I could provide the most customized, highly skilled, individual, wonderful experience type of care that I didn't feel like I could perform in a traditional model. And I did it by remodeling part of my home. It was awesome. The thing I couldn't have anticipated is how quickly it grew. And it very, very quickly outgrew that space, and I moved into a retail space. And from there, in true traditional Tiffany fashion, I was like, let's grow this thing. Let's make it bigger. So part of that was because I got to the point where I really personally and individually could not keep up and maintain the individual one-on-one hour-long appointments with patients that I want my practice to always be. I couldn't keep up by myself, so I decided I'd start adding some staff in to assist me with that. To kind of bring that story up to date, we actually got to the point at one point where Nathan and myself and then 10 other employees, mostly in a part-time capacity, not all but some, and we did grow it. It grew into something, it was great. We provided amazing services, including fascial stretch therapy, massage therapy, mental health services, pelvic health services, physical therapy, nutrition, counseling, personal training. We were dabbling in the idea of bringing on a functional medicine provider, and it was amazing. And then one day, my husband and I realized that we just don't want to. I'm trying to find a way to say this without sounding lazy, arrogant, ungrateful. We just didn't want to be doing that much anymore. And we decided together that although we had not met our retirement goals for the amount of money we need to retire, we had gotten a good portion of the way there, and we were wondering, if we wait until we're ready, are we going to be able to physically do everything that we want to do in that experience? And I think this is a concern a lot of people have. They work their whole lives, and then they get to retirement and they are either not physically capable, mentally capable, they didn't make it there financially, and they just feel like they're too old to do the things that they were hoping to be able to do. And we've always lived our lives. We don't want to live with regret. We've done countless amazing adventures, but we were thinking, well, we can't retire. We haven't met that goal yet, but could we take an extended break and do some of the things that we've talked about, and then we could go back? That's the plan. We ran some numbers. We figured out what that would need to entail, and we started learning how to travel hack by getting points so we can get some, pretty extensive lodging for free, if you will, or very, very discounted. And there'll be a video coming on how we're planning on doing that. And for sure, while we're gone, we're going to show you how that worked out and if we think that's a good plan. A little caveat there: do not, please do not start doing that unless you have very high levels of financial discipline regarding the use of credit. But we'll talk about that more in a future video. So we started that whole process, and then we're like, okay, now we got to run this by our financial advisor. And as you might expect, most financial advisors would be like, are you insane? You're like getting close to the end of your career. You've been working so hard on your financial goals, and you're just going to take a whole year off and not put anything in. For sure, we've gotten some of those reactions, like, are you insane, basically, is the reaction. But to our very pleasant surprise, thank you, Jeremy. If you guys need a great financial advisor, we'll link our wonderful financial advisor below, especially someone who's willing to think a little bit outside of the box, obviously. He actually encouraged us to do it. Even more to our surprise, our original intent was we were going to get someone to run our practice while we were gone for the year. And that way things would be fairly seamless for our patients and they'd be well taken care of. And Jeremy actually was of the opinion, And we ultimately decided that he was correct, that if we did not walk away and close it, we wouldn't really be taking the break that we were looking for. We would always be called, we'd always be thinking about it, we'd be worrying about our patients, the business, all of the, the things that go into running a business. And if any of you are business owners, you definitely know what we mean by that. If you've never owned a business, you may not fully appreciate all of the intricacies that go into running a very, very, very small business. So with that advice, we thought about it, we talked about it, and we decided ultimately he was right. So at that point, we let all 10 of our staff know, and we said, okay, this is the deal. This is what we're doing. In 2 years, we are going to be taking a full year off, and we will be closing the practice. We love all of you. You're amazing. We want you to have amazing professional opportunities. So please start looking for a job you will love, you will be so happy in, and we will write you the most glowing and enthusiastic review so that you can move on to an experience that you will be happy in. And it's just sort of organically and slowly pared down. We've gone from 12 total to 5 total, shortly 4. And then over the remainder of the following year, it will just be Nathan and I. And at this point, we're anticipating when we come back, we'll probably keep it that way. We want to be able to do what we do really, really well, but maintain some of the simplicity that we're looking for. There's probably a million questions. You guys have, I'm sure you have questions about how are we going to do it? Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with our patients? And on and on and on. I actually am super enthusiastic and curious to see what you guys put in the comments. And you probably will give me some great ideas for future videos, and maybe I will answer some of them briefly in the comments, but others, maybe if your question's great, we'll turn it into a full-fledged video. So I hope that answers the initial question, but there's probably more questions that come from this answer than from answering it, and I'm very excited to share this journey with you. So some things that you can anticipate from the channel moving forward. You'll see some videos from a conversation and logistics perspective. Myself, Nathan, both of us, probably not too many videos of Nathan by himself, to be honest, but discussing with you how we're doing it. We're definitely going to share with you the things we feel like are successful, that have been mistakes. We want to use our experience to help others if they might want to do this. And then we also, in a year from now, we 100% want to capture this experience. We want that for ourselves. We want to be able to share that with our friends and family and all of you. Please come vicariously with us on this adventure. And then we want to save it for like our grandkids and show them like your grandma and grandpa are crazy and fun and amazing. And look at the nutty things that they've done. And we encourage you to dream big, to think outside the box, to rub a little bit against the culture that tells you have to do things a certain way. And those of you who know me for sure, I am not afraid to rub a little against the standard culture of things. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please join us on the next video.